Hey y'all, it's David, and in this video I'm gonna show you how to get a little crafty with your Bibles. First of all, a shout out to Jeffrey Quinn, did a video March 21st, 2016. I'm gonna subscribe to his channel. Thank you, Jeffrey, for your video. So I saw Jeffrey's video a couple months ago because I had the Lockman Foundation Bibles coming in and I knew I wanted to change the ribbons, and there was just a little bit of a, it should have art gilding inside me, just welling up like I should learn how to do this because I see people do it all the time, but I didn't know how complicated or what it was. But I'm gonna show you how stinking easy it was. This whole stack I did in less than an hour. I was just going bananas before I was like, I'm gonna run out of Bibles to actually do a video with. And so these, I'm not going to do all of them for you, but these are next in line. These are getting some gilding today. So we got some big Bibles, some thin Bibles, some medium Bibles, and so anyway, his video had been in the back of my mind for a couple months of like, yeah, I'll get to it, yeah, I'll go buy some ink and get a little cotton thingy and like all these, in a paper towel, and I'll do it. And so I was just sitting there and I didn't do anything with it until Justin Treadway on the Everything's Bible page. Shout out to that guy, because he did Art-Gilt, and I think he said it was his first time. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked so good, and I'm like, oh man, he's motivated me to do it. So I saw like the ink and stuff, and I'm like, Allie, I invited my wife to go to the craft store with me. That was a change. And then she's like, no, don't go to the craft store and spend money on the on crafts and stuff that we already have. And so if you know her channel, she's like the craft queen of the universe. Her YouTube channel is bigger than mine by like 19 or 20. And then her website is alliebrown.creative.com. She did not pay me for this free advertisement. My gosh. We're married. Anyway, she had inks and stuff, so I did all this for free because her huge like selection of crafty stuff in her room. And so what she got me, and I'm going to use them for this video, is it's called Distress ink, and it seems to work fine for me. And it was really easy to apply, and so it's Distress ink by Tim Holtz, and it's from his Ranger line. And so the red I'm using is Fire Brick. He's got other colors if you don't want to get as dark as Fire Brick. And then the blue that I'm using is called Broken China. And so we'll be using those, and then to apply them, there's these little things. This one's lost its handle. It's almost easier to work without it with a hand, with no handle on it. And it says Ink Essentials TM. When she brought them out, like that would apply an even coat of ink. And so it was super easy with these. The other things that I did use was gloves, maybe a Q-tip, paper towels, I forgot, and a sheet of paper. And then one more thing you will need is a cat. Not really. Stay out of my coffee though. Before I turn the camera around, again, coffee mugs are available. Just send us an email through the Contact Us tab at satabernacle.org, or shoot me a Facebook, Instagram message, and we'll send you an invoice. They're $20 for the mug plus $5 shipping. And then we also have stickers. They're like, you know, stickers. You stick them on things. I don't have one with me. I am so unprepared for this video. But those are $3 a piece. They're outdoor quality stuff, and they're like 2.5 or 3 inches, just a circle with the SA Tabernacle logo on them. So I'm gonna turn this around. I'm gonna do one in real time and kind of speed them up and just talk about some of my thought process and just quick lessons that I've learned. Now I need to move the cat out of the way, actually. All right, internet, we're gonna start with this Lockman SCR. I already did my output. I changed the ribbons on these, same color for both of them. I'm gonna get the ribbons out first.
And I'm gonna get my gloves on because I don't want ink and stuff all over me. And you know, you can buy these at a store, y'all.
That's so much fun. All right, so thanks to that video I seen, I knew to put down a piece of paper so you don't get ink on the table. Just right under the cover, because you want to make sure you get all the end pages in there. And then just flop the other side of the cover open. I'm gonna use this Fire Brick Red, which give you a better angle on that stuff. That's what I'm using, and that will be forthcoming. I'm putting that one on a crossway. I'm super excited about that one too. Bam, there's the ink. Take your little thingy, and you want to get the pages at an angle, and you want them to stay flat and kind of consistent with each other. And the better you are at this, the better your finished product will be. So we're just going to get a little bit of ink here. And don't try to go with big swipes, I found out. Just little swipes, ink it, little swipe, ink it. And so you'll kind of see the process that I came to after doing 5 of these. And I've usually been putting 2 coats on it because it kind of evens everything out, because it doesn't apply super evenly on this first coat. And this is when I get the corners too, when I'm working on this area. So looking good, and then I'll come and just do the next line. So there we are. We're done with coat 1, but it's a teeny bit uneven, so just going to go back over and do the second coat. There we go. That's good for our first one. And so what we're going to do at this point is do the bottom and the top. And so here's what I thought that was kind of wrong. I thought you had to actually really get back in here, and you kind of don't. All you got to do is just kind of fan the pages out the best you can. Put a good amount of pressure on there so they stay there. And so you'll of course get the top, but you won't be able to get everything back here, even though I do come back here a little bit. But the Bible's not naturally going to bend this far anyway. So what you want to do right now is just expose everything about how the Bible's going to open and operate in these pages, and just get the ink in there. And it's not a big deal that this has less coverage than this, because these are all bound together tightly, and so you'll never see that there's not so much ink right there. Does that make sense? Also, from time to time, take your paper towel, straighten out the Bible, and just wipe off the gilding. And so the genius of this is the gilding does not take the ink, and so when you fan out the pages, the ink just goes behind the gilding. And so the gold or the silver, all the shiny stuff that's already on the Bible is not going to go anywhere. So you can still see the shiny gold, even though we just applied the red to it. So just take a paper towel, wipe off the excess. And so anyway, here's the top. Just fan these out a little bit. Again, you don't want to hurt the Bible fanning it out, but push it to its max capacity so that you can get the ink in there. Just wanting to apply a nice even coat the first time. You can always go back a second time to apply the even coat, but you will make it darker. And so for instance, the blue that I used, the first one I did with the blue, I was trying to get the hang of working with that color, and I had to do a second coat. And so both times I've used the blue, it's turned out different, because one was 1 coat and one was 2 coats. So that is that side. Close the cover, flip it over, and put the paper on the other side, and do exactly the same thing on the other side. So you can see like some of the red stain, but you need to even this out on the flip side. This binding is good enough. I actually don't need the Q-tip, but what I would use it for is just to swirl the ink around and try to even out some of these. I found like in the thinner line Bibles is mostly where I had been using the Q-tip. But these medium size and thicker Bibles don't really require them. Man, last step and then we're almost done. You guys, this is so easy. I'm shocked at how easy it is. And maybe it's easier for me because I have these little flat thingies to apply it. And so when it's spread out like this, it gives you a nice application. And let's see, this one kind of had some chunks. I'm going to try to get back in there so it doesn't look super uneven. But man, there we go. Okay. So, I mean, you don't want to handle it too much, let the thing dry, but there it is. So you can see the gold is still preserved. It gives it a nice tint on the gold, as all the art gilding Bibles do. If you notice between the two stacks I had at the beginning of the video, the ones that had it and the ones that didn't. And with this gold, I already replaced this with gold ribbons, and I'm going to put the blue underneath this. So I'm going to get this one done real quick and then finish the other ones, and we'll come and look at how they all turned out after everything's dried. I have to thank Evangelical Bible with their Schuyler Bibles for giving me the guts to put blue under gold. It is worth it, y'all. It looks amazing on the right edition. This edition was actually a gift from a wonderful subscriber, and so I just appreciated it so much, and I've really enjoyed this edition. This has become the ESV Bible that I would teach out of, because occasionally I do prefer to teach out of the ESV instead of the New American Standard, and so because of the verse-by-verse format, it's been a wonderful Bible for that. There is a review on this one down the channel. It is, besides the ESV Study Bible, it's my only Crossway. What kept putting these projects off was just the intimidation of understanding how to do these corners, which ended up really not being a big deal. I was surprised at how easy it is to do the edges and the corners with just a little bit of a flare out like that. Man, that turned out lovely. Look at that. Alright, so we're going to let those guys dry. I'm going to do 3 more. I'll do it really fast, I promise, Internet. And we'll come back and look at some of these. What I'm seeing on this one, because it's a little bit more used, I don't know if the lighting is helping you out here, but some of the gold gilding is worn, and so it's just going to apply a little bit different on your worn Bibles. No big deal, but just letting you know so that you can expect those things. Alright, one thing I'm running into, I'm looking over these, and some of them are really uneven, especially Bibles that are worn. I'm not super thrilled with it, and so what I'm going to do is just put a highlighter underneath the page so it curls a little bit better, like that. And we'll see. You know what, I'm gonna put it a little bit more in center so it doesn't. There we go. And then lay it back and try to get a little bit more even coat. When you do this, it will get darker, but oh well. And I've noticed on some of the other editions I was doing, like after I've done this, trying to clean it up a little bit with going down. So we'll see how that does. So I'm just doing things to get the angle of the pages a little bit greater so I can hopefully address some of these uneven areas. This is something I didn't have to do when I did the first batch of Bibles. But I will point out that this is probably the most worn-in one that I've done. I did this in minor ways on other ones, but this is probably the biggest project. And because this one has a round spine, it lays a little bit different when it's open in the middle, and so it exposes a lot of that uneven application. Alright, so we'll let that dry. We'll see how it does for my Revival Bible, guys. Oh wait, paper towel. Alright, and then to get kind of a more even application on this Holman, I'm just having to curl the pages like that. And just kind of get these last pages, because the ones near the ends of the books I'm having trouble with today, and some of the more used editions. I don't know if it's the paper or if it's because of the size. I didn't run into this issue when I was doing it the other day, but I'm kind of glad that I did today for your sake, so that you can see some of them weren't just kind of a one and done. Some of them were having to take things, and that's, let me see if I can get you a profile, kind of how I'm covering these pages. So be careful not to get it on the actual page, because the priority is really just down here where it's going to meet the cover. So again, I don't know if different pages are just taking ink different. I just finished the Preacher's Bible, and that one worked like a champ. Both of them did pretty good. The new Bibles I'm not having an issue with. So I don't know if it's the paper quality or if it's the wear and tear on the Bible itself from using it, because this one and the Revival Bible I've used quite a bit, and so it was harder for both of those for the application to come a little bit more even for me. Well, that definitely looks better. So the way I started the video out might work out most of the time, but I'm seeing there's definitely examples where you might have to go in and do a little bit different. So like I did with putting the highlighter underneath the page like that to get it to curl around more and have access to more of the paper in there, like I did on the Revival Bible. But then on this one, having to actually just take a chunk of the paper and fold it in there like that, so you can have access to a little bit more paper that way too. So yeah, so there's all kinds of ways to do this. I'm learning and making sure everything looks good when you're finished. Alright, so all done. This stack is what I did the other day. These were my practice Bibles. And yeah, the Preacher's Bible was in there. So I did one of them, did the other one today, which I'll show you. These two, the Holman Christian Standard and calfskin, And the Revival Bible, I had a little bit of issues with just because the pages were worn, and so I'll show you those real quick and the finished product. And then just as a bonus, my son wanted his Thompson chain that has, it's a solid Bible, but the pages have been worn extensively. And so he wanted blue under the gold on this, but this one had some splotches and the gilding was just so worn. So I'll show you this one too so you can see what it looks like on a really, really worn Bible. Those blotches really absorb the color that you're going to put in. And so it doesn't fix those, it just kind of changes the color on those, but it's still, when you open it up, still has a nice blue under gold tint, which I love. So that's how the more worn ones have turned out. I'm really happy with them. It really made my ribbon change make more sense on this one. Putting the art gilding underneath the gold on this one kind of made those ribbons make sense to me. So now this one is complete. No more touchy, just reedy. The Lockman real quick. And again, this is the single column reference, not a review. Go watch the review if you want to see the review. This is just kind of how the Art-Gilt and turned out. And then you can see my ribbon choice of ribbon color, which is inspired by what Thomas Nelson has been putting on a lot of their editions lately. So it turned out nice and even once everything dried really well, and I think I did have to go back on this one and touch up a few spots, but not like those other ones. And then the Crossway Cowhide verse by verse reference Bible. Gold ribbons, already did that change, but then put the blue under the gold, and this one looks so special. absolutely love how this one turned out. And then the last one, the Preacher's Bible. This is the updated edition. It seemed like they changed the gilding on this one, so I was wondering if there's going to be a difference. They applied the same, and they look nice and even, and the pages are thick, so it's a lot to apply and takes a little bit longer on this one. But the pages on this one, again, just work so well with what we're trying to do. So it just applies even, and it looks so well. The art gilding is just a nice thick layer, and so the Preacher's Bibles were actually the easiest ones to apply this on. And I love it because for me, I get so distracted with things, and when I have art gilding on a page, it frames it in really nice, and so it's easier for me to stay focused on a page when there's like a darker art gilt around it. And I love the art and stuff too, but it actually serves a practical purpose for me because I don't know what it is, I can't explain it, it's just it keeps my eye focused on the page better. But there's how the Preacher's Bible turned out. And yes, I changed those ribbons also. My first one, I put 4 scarlet ribbons in it, and this one I kind of had fun going with a liturgical style ribbon scheme maybe. Alright, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the music playing underneath this video or any of my videos, you can download it all at forloveoftheword.bandcamp.com. That link will be in the description, as well as my Patreon link. So if you enjoy the work and the labor and the ministry of this channel, you can go and support us over there and be a huge blessing to my family for as little as $2 a month. And a special thank you to all the present and past patrons who have supported us through the last several years, working in the channel, working in ministry locally. So thank you guys so much, and y'all have a good day. Bye.